Hi everyone, welcome back. We're heading into the penultimate episode, episode 15. It's one of those episodes because this feels like it follows a very familiar linear drama narrative where we're right near the end. They need to clean up a few threads, they need to close them, little plots that need to be finished. And I'm just curious if there is a turncoat at some point. Is Kim Kaon someone who actually, all the way from the beginning, has been planning to infiltrate Kang Yohan's very small inner circle to then betray him? There feels there's got to be some sort of betrayal. Or it doesn't even have to be the main two guys, it could be someone they know. I just feel like there's going to be a massive betrayal from someone. And of course, Chonsona is going to clearly be at the forefront. Like, she is the mastermind. So we have to still see her elevate her success in her scheme for it to come crashing down. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. A wonderfully manipulative episode. Very frustrated with Kim Gaon because Gaon was repeatedly fed lies that was very obvious. I think watching it, and it's a hard thing when you're watching it as an audience member because obviously, of course, you're supposed to know that in those moments, of course, he's going to fall for it. We've seen throughout the whole show that he's very, very easily manipulated. The whole time we've seen it, that he's always been manipulated by situations and what people do, and because again, he's that have-a-go hero, that hero savior complex that he has. It's always been a downfall for him because it's so easy to then use that as a tool to get to him. And that professor, all he had to say to him was this repeated line about Soo-young was doing this, and she was doing that, and Kao Young-han was stopping her, and obviously he knew they had friction. Uh, of course, everyone in the police department is on her side. There's definitely a lot of messaging about corrupt society, but the corrupt higher ups, the ones in authority, and that doesn't just include like the president and her, it includes the police as well, that they're all in her pocket. But it also shows how she is able to manipulate those around her with certain words and phrases. She has been doing this since she was a kid, probably from the moment she fell out of that window. She has been learning to do this to for her own means, her own gain. I know she said at the end, she did it because she wanted him to look at her like that. In other words, as if she's the only thing he can think about, even if it's in a murderous rage, knowing that he is the thing she thinks about, the thing that she holds now is that bit of power because she's besotted by him. He will always be her weakness. We can see that if you watch it. He is a pure weakness for her, but it's not that big of a shock for me that the big revelation was she's been doing this for years. I knew something about that professor because it was I don't know if I ever mentioned it before, but I never trusted him from the get-go because he was always preaching about Kang Yuhan being bad. And so we know it was set up years ago, but it also shows that for someone who talks about the greater good, the greater justice, you don't believe in it because what you did was manipulate a situation for her to get the upper hand. And it was never to do with that. It was always to do with your own means. And of course, she knew about who'd started the fire years ago because again, she's amazing at manipulating a lot of people around her, especially men. And then that interesting moment of course, her taking control, which we knew was going to happen. I said before that she had to reach her peak. The end scene was her peak. Now we have to see what happens. Will she get her comeuppance? Don't know. But I will say, we'll see if the professor gets it. That something will happen to him. I don't know if he'll die, but he'll get some sort of justice. Something will happen. The trained assassin, something has to happen to her because it would make sense for her to fight for her and die in the making. Her purpose wouldn't make sense for her to survive. It just wouldn't. In this scenario, I'm not saying she's going to die, but in terms of a narrative fit, it would make more sense for her to die. But then it's who else follows, because there's always got to be someone in power. There can't be a complete escape. And I don't even know if, honestly, if any of them will truly come to justice. Chong may become the next president, and it may end up having Kang Yo-han having to escape. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be a happy ending completely for Kang Yo-han or Kim Ga-on. I don't, or at least the happy ending we want for them. Beautifully done, beautifully acted, directed. The cinematography was great, but again, this episode was so frustrating because you could sense the manipulation, and you just wanted to shake Kim Ga-on. Like, but yeah, the whole revelation that it was set years in motion makes sense. She's had plans all along. She's again, she's supposed to be the true an actual villain, which is something is really refreshing because sometimes with villains they miss the mark with them. I feel like with her they haven't. They have made her just truly evil, and it works. And because she, as a villain, like any other human, she's still human. She has a weakness. I just wonder what happens like from here because though she has the power, there's always got to be that calm down. Did you like the episode? Did you dislike the episode? Were there elements of it that you thought could have been written better? Were you frustrated, but in a good or bad way? Uh, we are at episode 15, so I think we can speak about who our favorite characters are. Who is your favorite character? And do you think there was a character that they could have used more? Did you have a 180 on a character throughout the show? These are really interesting questions because of where we are now. Thank you for watching this very intense final moment. I just want to quickly add that Ilya starting the fire was something that I had in the back of my head a while back, but I didn't connect a lot of dots until a few episodes down, and I thought, okay, this would make sense. And there's only one person he protects above everyone else, and it's her.